Welcome, seekers of the unknown, to another journey into global religious mysteries. In almost every major faith worldwide, taking your own life is an unforgivable sin. But inside the ancient temples of India, starving to death is the ultimate glory. This is Sallekhana, a sacred vow where the body withers away to elevate the soul. Is it a brutal suicide or profound mastery over our human survival instincts? To fully understand this profound paradox, we must observe the quiet devotion before us. Amidst the floating incense smoke, an elderly Jain monk begins his final spiritual task. He sits in deep meditation, completely detached from the physical world and its demands. Surrounding him are thousands of faithful pilgrims offering their deepest respect and reverence. They do not weep or mourn his passing because they see him achieving true eternal peace. In Western thought, ending one's existence is often viewed as a tragic act of desperation. We are taught that life is a divine gift, and destroying it is a terrible moral failure. However, the ancient teachings of Jainism offer a radically different perspective. According to sacred texts, Sallekhana is only for those nearing their natural death. It is not escaping from life's burdens, but a conscious choice to welcome death without fear. By slowly rejecting all nutrition, the practitioner aims to purify their inner soul. They leave behind all earthly attachments, stripping away all worldly desires and passions. It is a meticulous process of shedding bodily form to achieve ultimate freedom. This vow transforms the terrifying abyss of death into a glorious spiritual triumph. But how did such an extreme ritual evolve into a mainstream religious practice today? To find the answer, we must examine the core philosophy of Ahimsa, or nonviolence. In Jainism, Ahimsa is not just a rule, it is the absolute foundation of existence. Svetambara monks wear white masks over their mouths to avoid breathing in microbes. They gently sweep the dusty roads with peacock feathers to prevent crushing insects as they walk. Every action is carefully measured to minimize harm to any living organism. The ultimate goal is to stop accumulating karma, which ties the soul to reincarnation. Even eating a simple plant is considered an act of violence against the universe. Therefore, at the end of life, the most logical step is to stop consuming resources entirely. The vow of Sallekhana is introduced gradually, first eliminating all solid foods. Over many days or even weeks, the person reduces their intake to only liquids. Finally, when they are spiritually prepared, they give up water and await death silently. This ritual is not reserved only for anonymous monks hiding in mountain caves. According to ancient records, even the mighty Emperor Chandragupta Maurya did this. After conquering a vast empire, he voluntarily abandoned his throne for salvation. He traveled to the rocky hills of Chandragiri and fasted until his breath faded away. His royal flesh turned to dust, but his legacy as an enlightened ascetic lives forever. It is fascinating how absolute power can be surrendered for absolute nothingness. Yet, modern observers struggle to comprehend the severe physical agony involved here. When a body is deprived of water, the organs begin to shut down amidst terrible pain. If you were facing the agonizing anguish of starvation, could your faith keep you smiling? This brings us to the second great mystery of Sallekhana, which baffles modern science. How do these devotees override the primal instinct to survive and escape bitter agony? Under a scientific lens, starving triggers a massive alarm within the human amygdala. The brain screams for nourishment, flooding the nervous system with chemicals of pure panic. Ordinary people would descend into madness or violence as dehydration takes control. But neuroscientists studying deep meditation have uncovered something truly shocking. Years of rigorous mental training allow these monks to rewire their neural pathways completely. By entering a profound state of focus, they can detach awareness from physical sensation. The pain signals are still transmitted, but the conscious mind simply refuses to acknowledge them. As we observe the elderly monk, his flesh has wasted away until only bones remain visible. His lips are severely cracked, and his cheeks are deeply hollowed by prolonged dehydration. Yet, despite the devastating biological collapse, his bright eyes glow with clear awareness. He maintains a gentle, unwavering smile showing absolute mastery over nature's harsh laws. This is not a delusion or a drug-induced coma, it is ultimate cognitive control. Many modern scholars agree that this level of discipline requires decades of preparation. You cannot simply decide to undergo Sallekhana on a whim out of sudden despair. A council of senior monks must grant permission, ensuring the motives are purely spiritual. If any anger, fear, or regret is detected, the request to fast is immediately denied. It is a celebration of transcendence, completely opposite to the dark nature of suicide. However, the secular legal system of India refused to accept this ancient perspective. Can a modern government criminalize a peaceful ritual that harms no one but the practitioner? This profound ideological conflict led to an unprecedented battle in the high courts. In 2015, the Rajasthan High Court dropped a massive judicial bombshell on the nation. A stern Supreme Court judge declared that Sallekhana was nothing more than illegal suicide. Under Article 21 of the Constitution, the state must protect all biological life. Secular human rights activists argued that voluntary starvation is a barbaric practice. They claimed elderly people might be pressured into fasting to relieve families of financial burdens. The courtroom was tense as the judge struck his wooden gavel, criminalizing the holy tradition. This ruling sent shockwaves throughout the Jain community, sparking immediate mass outrage. For them, Article 25 guarantees the fundamental right to free religious expression. How could a secular institution dictate the spiritual mechanics of karmic salvation? In response, a massive ocean of protesters flooded the sunlit streets of Indian cities. Hundreds of thousands marched in pure white clothing, many with shaved heads and peaceful banners. They did not throw stones or yell violent threats, maintaining their strict vow of nonviolence. Instead, they projected a fierce determination, challenging the court's lack of cultural depth. The unprecedented uprising forced the Supreme Court to reconsider the controversial ban. After intense deliberation, the highest judiciary issued a temporary stay order. Sallekhana was once again permitted, restoring the ancient path to spiritual liberation. The elderly monk in the temple could now breathe his last breath without being labeled a criminal. This epic battle highlights the profound tension between bodily preservation and the soul. While the state views the body as a citizen that must be kept alive at all possible costs, Jainism views the body as a temporary vessel that must eventually be left behind. Ultimately, the legacy of Sallekhana defies our deepest dread of mortality. It proves that when the mind is enlightened, even the darkest death can become a masterpiece. As bodies wither away in India to elevate their inner souls above the flesh, in Tibet, ancient gods are borrowing human bodies to command the entire government. Join us next time as we uncover the secrets of the powerful Tibetan oracles. As the modern courts clash with ancient faith, we must ask ourselves a very difficult question. Is this ritual a fundamental human right or a tragic loss of life? Share your thoughts below. If you seek more hidden truths, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share the mystery.